Welcome to Getting Home Sourced with G. Your one-stop shop for all things real estate. Gianno is your go-to guy with over 25 years of experience in the game, serving up the insider scoop on buying, selling, and investing in two of the hottest markets, Las Vegas, Nevada, and Cabo, Mexico. Whether you're looking to score the perfect home, seal the deal on a sale, or dive into the world of international investments, G's got the tips, tricks, and swagger to make it happen. Remember, in Nevada, the smart choice is the right choice. And when it comes to Cabo, you better go oceanside with Cabo G. If you were looking for a quiet, tranquil show about real estate, this ain't it. Gianno has this thing called passion. Let's unleash the beast. This is Welcome to Getting Home Sourced. And now your host, Gianno.
Hey, what do you say? Hey, folks, we got another rockin' show. Thank you so much for tuning in. You know I love you all. You are the engine that makes the Ferrari run. That is my line every time. So thank you. And of course, I want to thank my newbies, my first-timers. Thank you so much for tuning in. I greatly appreciate you for wherever you're listening. I give thanks and praise. And of course, for my repeat offenders, my loyalty program customers, my clients, my friends, my family, thank you so much. I love you guys. Hey, it's a community here, folks. This is how we make it happen, right? And of course, as I always like to say, by starting off, good morning, good afternoon, and good evening to wherever you're listening around the world. Thank you so much for tuning in. We have another great show and another reveal, folks. That's what we're going to do. We're going to give you another reveal. But first, I want to say the title of the show is Days of Our Lives. I'm going to get into why in a moment. But of course, as always, I like to say, for especially my first-timers that are listening, my newbies, if you haven't already signed up for my newsletter, go on to VegasHomeSource.com, get into the newsletter, subscribe, sign up. Again, it's great information for you to know what's going on. You also have my free MLS contact information for both Las Vegas and Cabo San Lucas, so take advantage of the tools there that are for everybody. If you want to get a hold of me, you call me my toll-free number, 888-528-2810, and of course put a 702 behind it, and then you're ready to roll for my domestic friends. And you're covered all the way around, folks. I mean, this is what it's all about. It's a community show. We give the tools, we give the information, we love to inform, and we love to be informed because that's what our human nature is. We question, we have that thirst for knowledge and how can we be better? And I hope that every show that we talk and we bring out to everybody gives that impact and that lasting impression of, wow, that's a pretty good show. I like that. Just like last week. So, of course, this week's show, we call it Days of Our Lives. But although I don't like making public service announcements, and in this instance I have to because I really want to address the Mexico situation that's taking place right now, because a lot of people have been contacting me and saying, hey, what's going on down there? I don't feel comfortable going on. I see what's happening with Guadalajara and Puerto Vallarta and things going up in smoke over there. What is the deal? What's the story? More importantly, what's going on in Cabo? Is it safe? Because I don't know if I want to go down there. I don't know if I want to go buy property. And then for my clients that are down there, well, gosh, I don't know if I want to sell and get out of here. Like, what's good? Again, too much panic, too much drama. What is this becoming? It's becoming a TV soap opera. This is not the Benny Hill show. This is not Dallas. This is not, Who Shot JR. It's none of the stuff going on over here, cliffhangers and what have you, okay? This is just incidences that take place. I mean, look, what everything else is going on around the world right now, I mean, you think about it, there's a lot of events taking place around the world right now, right? So, again, it's becoming a soap opera in general. It just so happens that Mexico, people put their media out there. They want to capture, they want to do that attention grabber content.
Job breaking news.
So they can get their 15 minutes of fame. Okay, thank you very much. You had your fame. Now go back into your room and, go have a pina colada or something. I mean, look, at the end of the day, I could tell you right now that Cabo is fine. There's no problems going on down there. I know this because, again, my clients being down there, and then, of course, my office being down there, I get the information. I get the boots on the ground stuff. And hey, I'm reporting back to you. If I tell you that there's nothing happening, folks, and it's business as usual, believe me, it's business as usual. So I think it's important to understand that. But again, for all my international friends, are like, well, what the heck is going on in Mexico? Well, quite honestly, they've had a large problem, and it's been going on now for a while with the cartels down there, and you have the 6 cartel families. Well, there was a covert operation between U.S. and Mexico that took out one of the head cartel members, and therefore what happened, the people below got upset. They went around and they were burning cars and buses and closing the airports down and what have you. And it was just a mess. It was panicky, yeah, of course, and obviously dangerous. But again, this is what happened. So people got nervous, and right off the bat, oh my God, I want to go down there. Oh my God, I want to say, oh my God, this must be happening in Cabo as well. No, it's mainland Mexico, has nothing to do with the peninsula in the Baja California Sur, folks. Again, the analogy, like I could tell you, is that let's say if you're visiting the United States and you're going to New York City, but there's unrest in California or there's unrest in, Chicago or Detroit or what have you, that's not going to make you not want to go to New York because it's 2 different situations, right? 2 different states that are having problems. Cabo's a state, the Baja California Sur, and of course, with Puerto Vallarta and Jalisco and where Guadalajara is, that's the other state. This is what's happening. So that state's having some issues with, unfortunately, the cartel situation. So much so that even the World Cup and FIFA people are keeping a close eye on this because now they're talking about, hey, we may want to pull our, games out of there and probably take it to Canada and give Canada extra games or give the U.S. extra games. Now, look, I think that's way far off track. I mean, we're already in March. We got April. We got 3 months before the World Cup starts. I really don't see this being a problem in 3 months. I mean, that would be very detrimental to the country if they were to move the World Cup games out of there. Very bad play, bad press, just not a good look. I don't see it happening. These are situations where even the locals tell me, look, this is going to go away like in a week or less than a week, and that's it. They get their anger out, they get their rage out, and then they move on, okay? So for people that are nervous and they want to cancel trips and they don't know what's going on and they want to leave before the trip ends, you don't have to do that, folks. But if you do, I get it. But especially in Cabo, everything is business as usual. The airports are busy. There's people coming in. It's spring break season. And for those that don't know what spring break is, it's when, especially in the U.S., where you have high school and colleges or universities that are taking their school break, right, their semester break. And what do? They want to blow off steam, and they go down to Mexico. So the desirable areas are Puerto Vallarta, you have Mazatlan, you have Cabo, and these are the beach areas and the beach city areas, and that's where people love to go and enjoy. Cabo's a big destination, and Cabo's very big right now. It kicked up just a couple of weeks ago, and it'll go right till the end of April, and that's it with the kids, right? So, and they're not going to not go down there because kids nowadays, they enjoy the fear. They enjoy that challenge. They're like, hey, if fear's here, I'm here. Like, if fear's here, give me a beer. That's their mentality. They're going to go down no matter what. They're going to enjoy themselves. And that's what that's all about. So because of this situation, I just want to put it out there that everything is cool in Cabo. You don't have to worry about it. And that's all I'm going to say about the public service announcement for that. Everything's chill and everything's relaxed. And that's the way it should be. Now, with things going on and, again, with Mexico being the way it is, Cabo San Lucas is probably, folks, the top 1 or 2 states/cities in Mexico, with the other being Merida, which is basically located by the Yucatan Peninsula, just north of Cancun, not too far away. And those two areas are really the safest in all of Mexico. And that's just the bottom line. That's fact, that's knowledge, that's information. And again, it depends upon your point of view. You like Merida better than Cabo? Okay, fine. But a lot of people think Cabo is great. That's why they go down there. That's why they're spending tons of money down there buying properties, investing, and it's their vacation home, their first home, or their second home. Okay. So this is why people will continue to go down to Cabo, continue to buy. And I've gotten a lot of phone calls and emails and text messages. First saying if I was down there, if I was okay. So thank you so much for that. I appreciate the concern. But no, I'm actually in Las Vegas right now. I actually will be down there in a couple of weeks, but just not right now, not because of what's going on, just because I have closings up here with clients and I can't really get away. If I could, believe me, I would be down there right now because I actually have clients waiting for me too. So, but thank you so much for your support, for reaching out and making sure I'm okay. Yes, I'm okay, but also everything is okay. So I don't want you to feel nervous or uncomfortable. I reached out to basically most of you and basically expressed, hey, it's business as usual. You just have to block out the noise and the drama. Enjoy yourself. If you're thinking about going down there, please let me know and contact me, and I can answer more questions for you. No problem, and put you in the right places so you feel safe and you feel comfortable, because that's the most important, right? But at the end of the day, again, it's about people that want to buy real estate, sell real estate. I had clients down there like, hey, I don't know, I just bought a property down here. I might want to turn around and get out of here. Hey, take it easy because nothing's happening down there, okay? So you don't have smoke going up in the sky over there. You don't have things on flames and fire burning stuff. You don't have any of that stuff. So it's all good. For my international friends, my friends, living down there, stay where you are, enjoy your life, live your life. With that being said, and moving forward, I want to tackle the Cabo market right now because, again, with the show being business as usual, with days of our lives and having to hear the drama and watching the TV and thinking this is like, popcorn material. And in some, I guess, instances it is. What is it really? It's too much blah, blah, blah. It's too much drama. And let me tell you something, that, drama and speculation affects everything, right? Because it's an outside situation that you really can't control. And it's a shame because you really shouldn't be putting Cabo in the crosshairs and just throwing them into the pile with other cities that are in the mainland, because it's like apples and oranges. It doesn't equal, it doesn't make sense. And it's a little bit disappointing that the media is giving them a bad rap like that. But I get it, they want ratings and what have you. Let them have it and let them have their 5 minutes of fame. But folks, again, to put into perspective, last week, even my office is telling me they had 40 private jets down there right now, and lines coming out of the airport to get into their little minivans and their shuttle buses and taxis and Ubers and what have you were packed. And this is on a Thursday. So, folks, I'm telling you, people know me by now, I'm an honest and straight shooter. If I told you that it was dangerous to go down to Cabo, I'd say, folks, hey, PSA alert, red alert, do not go down there, whatever. I'm not saying that, okay? And that's the big difference, because I would tell you, and I'm truthful, it's street talk, it's real talk. I'm going to tell you what it is all the time, and I'm telling you, it's great. And here's another thing I'm going to tell you, too, just to support that whole thing, because over the last 5 years, okay, ending in 2025, really, so 2020 to 2025, you have $10 billion invested in the Baja California Sur and Los Cabos, okay? So, what can I tell you? $10 billion over the last 5 years. That's not a joke, folks. That's not made up money. That's not pulling something out of the sky and making it more than it really is. That is the street talk. That's the real talk. That's closings. That is basically, folks, what is happening down there. And that's why people continue to go. And now with that stat being said, here's my reveal. Okay, so now for all my friends, UAE, give yourself a round of applause because why? Emirates, starting in 2030, will now start doing nonstop flights Dubai to Cabo San Lucas. So that gives a standing ovation, folks, right there, because that is absolutely wonderful. I mean, just to have Emirates fly into Los Cabos, I mean, who would think in a million years Emirates, out of all airlines, would come to Los Cabos? But the big boys are playing. They want to come play in Mexico. They want to come play on the peninsula. And I love it. Emirates, congratulations. I'm so happy. And I'm so happy for all the passengers that are going to be going back and forth from Dubai to Cabo. It is going to be amazing. You're going to love it. I know the trip's going to be quite long. No question about that. Probably 17, 18 hours. But it's nonstop. It's great. And we all love nonstops, folks. That's really what it's all about. You can sleep on the plane, but it's well worth the trip. Enjoy it. 2030, 4 years away. I can't wait. I mean, it's going to be exciting stuff. So with that said, I want to take a quick commercial break because when we come back, I want to tell my international friends about what's going on in Cabo San Lucas, more in the real estate market and what's happening. It's important to know, and we're going to go through the timelines and really the intricacies of what's happening. So stay tuned, and I'll be right back.
Dreaming of owning a slice of paradise? Look no further than Cabo, Mexico. With Zion and Cabo G Real Estate, you can make that dream a reality. Whether you're seeking a luxurious beachfront villa or a cozy getaway in the heart of Cabo, Zion offers personalized service to help you find the perfect property. Imagine waking up to breathtaking ocean views, enjoying world-class dining, and experiencing vibrant culture, all just steps from your door. Make your dream home in Cabo come true today with Zion's and Cabo G Real Estate.
Hey, what do you say? What do you say? Thank you so much for sticking around to the back half of the show of Getting Home Source with your host, Gianno. And like I said, thank you. Hey, folks, listen, I can't do this show without you and the participation. And this is what makes me excited when I bring all this information and I'm giving you the juice. You're getting the juice. You're enjoying it. You're drinking it down. You're like, wow, this is amazing. I didn't even know this, right? And that's what I like to do. I like to talk about things that I didn't even know that. And I didn't hear this from anybody else, or I didn't hear it from anywhere else, right? But you're hearing it here first. And that's what I like bringing out to people. You're getting the breaking news when it hits, and you're getting the real deal street talk, right? So this is where we're at. So
you plus motivation equals success. I have that only thing in my locker room. There's nothing else in my locker room but that sign.
Now, in the back half of the show, again, the Cabo real estate market. And today, right now, as I like to take a step back and analyze, I say consumers have already decided on what they're doing, where they're buying, and when they're going to sell. Okay, this is just what it is. And really, the stat is 93% of homeowners who've expressed interest within this year in 2026 will list their home with someone, hopefully mainly me if you're in Las Vegas in the Cabo market. I mean, if you don't, shame on you. No, I'm teasing you. But the point is that, they've already committed to themselves. They already committed. They've already figured out what the situation is. Because why? For a seller, three things are on the line right now for them. Is their timeline, their equity, and a situation that they need to have resolved, okay, in a timely manner as well. So sellers right now are looking for an agent really out of anything else. I mean, you can have the best presentation as a real estate agent, as a listing agent. You can, show videos and reels and clips and whatever. You know what, folks? That's not what a seller or sellers are looking for. What they want is the most helpful person in the room. That is it. They want you to be their confidant. You have to hear what they say. You have to get and understand what they're talking about. And how are you going to be helpful to them? What are you going to do? How are you going to make a difference for that person or the family to make a very sensitive, emotional decision? Because we talked about how real estate and emotions, 2 in 1, right? So, and you have to be what? Present. You have to be in the moment. You have to be aligned. You have to be tuned in. And an agent like myself, I am always present, always in the moment, And more importantly, you have to be helpful. Why? Look, but if my show's not helpful, then I don't know what helpful is. Okay. So that's just a perfect example to show that I transcribe what I do on this show here into my work. And people know that because people have listened to the show that I've worked with already. They say, wow, you haven't even deviated, of course. What you say is who you are. And I appreciate that because they see it, they understand it. And that's what I tell people. You have to be present, and really more importantly too, instead of being also the most helpful person in the room, but for me, it's like you're an options trader, right? I'm not talking about stock options. You have to be options. You have to give people like decisions, right? What are you offering? Are you going to offer a cash offer to the seller? Hey, would you like a cash offer? You don't have to list it. Okay, fine. And then you get cashed out. You have an investor deal. Okay, great. No problem. Would you like to do a traditional listing? Would you like me to put the property in the market for you? We could show it. If you're occupying it, we schedule it where it's your convenience and what have you. Or if it's vacant, they see it any time. Traditional listing. And then lastly, you have what? Creative financing. People have done HELOCs already. We talked about that in our show last week where HELOCs kind of like bit some people in the booty because they took out the money. They couldn't make it back. Now they have that extra debt on their shoulders, and then boom, there you go, right? Which is a home equity line of credit to cover their expenses, or you're doing creative financing to just go ahead and sell off your property. So, and the creative financing right now, because of the affordability situation, makes it a viable source to sell your property, right? So, with that being the case, I mean, again, you look at the three key factors right now. What are the key factors for both, believe it or not, buyers and sellers? Well, I know it's motivation, it's equity, and it's just your factors. What are your factors? What are you factoring into the equation, right? But more importantly, what is your motivation? That's what drives people to make things going. Now, when you put those three factors out there, I mean, just a perfect example, okay? Right now, my office has 35 properties listed at least $1 million or higher, okay? And on top of that, we have 100 properties total in our office that's actively listed. So that equals, when I did all the math and added up all the inventory, we have $150 million worth of client assets that are waiting to be purchased, okay? And we're in March, and this is what's going on right now. So what does that tell you? That's a big number, folks, but here's the thing. It's a buyer's market. Now's the time for buyers, whether you're international, domestic, or national. This is where the opportunity comes into play, okay? And this is why it's important. The data proves it. It shows it. It lets people know. Because right now, for example, let me just say this. So if you had a property that's listed for, let's say, 500,000, okay? That property's been sitting on the market for a long time where now what's happening? You have to do a price improvement, which means price reduction. So when everybody sees, when you see the word, oh, we got a price improvement, that means it's going down, folks. It's not going up. The improvement means they don't want to say price reduction. So they want to get sophisticated and say price improvement. It's being improved. It's being improved for who? The buyer. It's not being improved for the seller. So that's why they have to reduce it, right? So this is what's going on. And in the luxury market, around that, 1.7, 1.8, they're dropping off about 400,000 themselves. Okay. So the luxury market too, again, it's the motivation, but you have to ask yourself, why is this? Why is that happening? Well, the answer is very simple, folks. It's the exchange rate. It's the currency. This is what's called what? A factor.
Wow! Wow! All I can say is wow!
This is what you have to factor into play because now buyers are just more than window shopping. Before you get window shopping, okay, let's go down, drive around, check things out, okay, because they have to understand where they're going to Mexico, where they want to be at, what community, what have you. But now the opportunity is that you're getting where you could get a good deal, okay? However, we have to tread water because the other reveal factor here is, folks, is that now with sellers because of the exchange rate where they bought properties a few years ago where they got at the 2021 USD to peso exchange rate. Now it's down to 17.16. What happens? It becomes an upside down situation for some sellers. What does that mean? Reverse capital gains, okay? And that's not a good word to hear. If you're a buyer, it's worse for a seller, but it's bad for a buyer. Why? Because when a reverse capital gain happens, it's similar to what we call a short sale in the United States, where a seller buys a property, 500,000, and now it's worth 400,000 based on the conversion rate. Oh my God. As a seller, if I sell this property, I have no money to come to the table with. I got to come out of pocket and close, or I have no capital gains. I can't close the deal. What happens? The buyer's got to come through, pay more money to close the deal in order to purchase the property, right? So this is a situation where sellers are short at the table. They have no money to come in to close, and they're hoping that the buyer is going to do it for them. And this is what happens in short sale situations, right? Where the seller has no money, buyer comes in, they have to make an offer. But in this instance, the bank usually picks up the tab, right? That's like, Big Daddy and coming in and saving the day for the seller, this kid, their kid. But with Mexico, different ball game. The responsibility now is the difference, that gap difference, and how much money there is based upon the exchange rate, what the seller purchased at the time when he owned the property, or she owned the property, or they own the property, to where now it's who's going to come out and pay the difference. Because as far as Mexico cares, they just want their money, okay? Because that's how the country thrives and strives in the sale of real estate, because they make their money on the capital gains. They don't make money on property taxes like we do here in the United States, okay? United States is property tax driven. Well, in Mexico, it is capital gains driven, and it's very important for them to get their money. So that's why what happens, we have attorneys. It's an attorney state. And again, for my friends in the Northeast in America, you know that you use attorneys, okay, on the Eastern Seaboard, and somewhat a little bit in the North, in the Midwest, mid-North area. But again, in the South, Southwest, and Southeast, Florida, for instance, the realtors are the attorneys. It's a title escrow, whereas in the northern states, it's a attorney state. Well, Cabo's an attorney state. You need an attorney to handle deals, and rightfully so, because they're the ones that will go through the numbers with you, as well as I do. We all sit down together and we powwow it out. But at the end of the day, it's important to know who's in the room with you. Again, being present, being aware, options, okay, informative, being helpful. You have to understand what's going on. And what happens as a buyer's agent in Mexico, the minute that you get an escrow going, if the listing agent's not going to give that information, we have to get a copy of the title right away, the deed. We have to find out and see what's going on, how it was paid, what their situation is there a shortfall? And we have to do the work. It's important to set up a transactional timeline that I give the clients, so we know these are the things that you have to do as a buyer to get things going in this due diligence period, to make sure if you want to move forward, or you're going to lose your money if you don't cancel it out and get your money back, right? So it's important to understand with the conversion rate and the gap now starting to set in, what's happening. This causes delays. It causes closing delays, because now seller decide, I don't have the money, I need the buyer to come through. Well, we didn't get this information up front, and that wasn't part of the process, because you have to do full disclosure there as well, like anywhere you would. Okay, so with that being the case, again, why more properties sit on the market is because now you're dealing with this reverse capital gain situation, and a lot of realtors down there that really might not know what they're doing, as much as some realtors don't know what they're doing in most cities that people work in. And it's unfortunate, because it's what it is. Okay, fine, but we have to surround ourselves with people that do know what they're doing, and it is important. And especially in Cabo, I mean, you have to know an agent that knows what's going on. Of course, myself, hello. So that's why I'm just saying, that's why it's important to align, to get the information and informative, and doing a due diligence. That's why we're here. That's why we're talking about it, right? So now, in addition to the seller gap, the buyer gap, okay, with the Baja California Sur, in addition to with the buyer, if they had to be in that reverse capital gain, they have to lay out money to cover the seller costs. The buyers also have to pay, no matter what, a 3% acquisition tax that goes on attached to the purchase price, right? It's a standard practice. Buyers always pay this fee. So again, if it's 500,000, you're coming in 3%, that's 15,000. That's your acquisition fee that you're paying to acquire the property. So in most instances, let's say if it was even a reverse capital gain situation, let's say the property was a condo, 300,000, buyer in most instances would have to come up and pay 350,000 just to cover all the costs for both the buyer costs and the reverse capital gain costs. And most people do that, folks. Don't get me wrong. I'm not saying like, oh my God, I don't want to do that. Hey, you know what? Most buyers do that. It's a cash deal. They don't care. They pick it up because they know it's what they want and they're getting their deal anyway. So it's what that is. That's why they can negotiate again on price as well. So buyers need to do what's called an evaluation of capital gains, as we always put a copy with the deed report with them during a due diligence period so we can outline and say, okay, buyer, this is what the situation is. How do you want to proceed? And what do you want to do? Because this is what we're going to run into. Okay. So this is what happens when we get all the information, because with that exchange currency rate shift that's taking place right now, I mean, you don't want to be in that quicksand moment. I mean, you don't want to be sinking both the seller as well as the buyer. It's a bad situation. Deal collapses. Money's being lost, especially with the buyer paying for appraisal, paying fees along the way. It's not good. It's not healthy. And, again, it's not fair. And that's why people are probably thinking right now, like, what the heck? I mean, why, as a buyer, why am I bailing out a seller for when they supposedly have all this equity? Where did all the money go? Did they spend it? Did they pull money out of the property? Like, what's going on? Like, what's that all about? And you know what, folks? That's a fair question. But again, the situation is because back in the day, people were doing runarounds. Gee, how unusual, right? We're trying to avoid paying capital gains and to the government, and government slapped in and said, "Hey, we're not playing this game no more. We need our money. We want our money, and you can't avoid the tax. Somebody's got to pay it. We don't care." So therefore, they put in what's called a No One's Fault Act, right? So in the sense that, hey, it's law. We don't care who covers it. We just got to get paid. The buyer pays it, seller pays it. We don't care. Somebody's got to pay. This is what it is. County and state, people got to make money, folks. I mean, it goes from the higher up down, and this is what happens, right? So you have to understand. I mean, it's like the yes moment. Okay, now I see. Now it's like as the world turns. Now it's the soap opera. Now it's this nonsense and drama that we have to go through, unfortunately. But you know what? It's real estate. It's the practices. It's how to navigate through. Because as a buyer, you just want to do a straight deal. You just pay your side of the table, and you're good. And sellers, look, you want your equity. You want to pay your side of the table. We get that. But again, for buyers that are going down there, it's important to understand that there's a situation in the resale market right now where the reverse capital gains are slowly starting to creep up a little bit. And it's going to be up to the buyer if they want to overpay for a property to cover seller costs, or if they want to go for, new construction, whether it's condo, townhouse, or home. And for sellers, you have to make that decision too. I mean, are you going to come out of pocket? You may not have any capital gain to pay, so you may have to come out of pocket. And sometimes they'll do that too. They'd rather have the buyer do it, right, and act like they don't have the money. But again, negotiating process, due diligence always gets things handled and worked out. But it's kind of fascinating, folks. I mean, when you think about it, again, it's motivation, it's equity, it's factors. This is what I talked about before. This is why it's important to who are you working with and aligning yourself with, specifically in the Cabo San Lucas corridor, because there's other developers down there that you can go in there and buy dirt. you can call it plot, dirt, land, what have you, and you could sit on it and do nothing with it. Okay, fine. But you can also buy the dirt, plot, land, and then turn around and you're buying in their community and they will build it for you. These are custom homes. These are expensive homes. And that situation, folks, just to let you know, is like a 2-year window, okay? These don't get built right away because there's a lot of permitting that goes into place. And again, the materials, the labor, the whole 9 yards, and it takes time for that. Just like a condo, a couple of my clients that just closed on their properties, it took them 2 years. One client took a little bit over 2 years. So this is what's going on right now with new construction. That's why a lot of people like resale, but you have to know where you're buying and how you're buying it. So when I say that real estate is really like a TV show, folks, it's really like a soap opera, I mean, seriously, outside forces you cannot control. I mean, speculation always affects things. It's just life. I get it, right? Okay. You go on social media, you see things. Is that going to affect you when you wake up every day? It shouldn't, but does it affect you every day because you're doing you, somebody else is doing them, I'm doing me, what have you. But one thing you never see me do is you're never going to see me do attention content grabbing. I'm not going to do that. What I just do instead is I outline information and give really important thought processes, factual information that let people think and decide what they want to do, because you're probably not going to be hearing this from other real estate shows because they just want to be like, hey, come work with me, go put money up, we'll do investments together, I'll teach you how to flip and buy my book and buy this and buy my program. Look, that's not this show. This show is about being informed. It's about realizing, understanding, hey, this is what's going on internationally in Mexico. And we also talk about our shows in Vegas and what's going on in Vegas. But either way, the point is that it's not attention content. And again, I always say to people, what's expensive today, cheap tomorrow. It's just life. Look at Cabo. You could have bought something in Cabo, $500,000 5 years ago, and guess what? That property's probably 3-4 times worth the value. Seriously, before COVID, it was El Cheapo. Not anymore. I mean, yeah, there's still deals out there where you can get condos, 300,000, what have you, 250. Those ballpark, 1 bedroom, 2 bedroom, and there's still deals. There's always something for somebody, right? And that's the most important thing. But again, in times of what's going on, especially in Mexico, put that aside. Act like it's poker. Act like you're at a poker game and you're at a poker table, okay? What are you going to do? You're not going to come in there all nervous and looking around. You're cool, you're relaxed, you're calm, you got that poker face going, okay? So you're not going to let people see how you're not going to show your hand, all right? You're going to stay true to yourself, keep the cards close to the chest before you make your move. You want other people to call, so now you can see what they have and how you react, right? So it's action, reaction. It's real estate's the game, folks. It's how you play the game and how you win at playing the game. It's the best way I can describe it. So on that note, I just want to say thank you so much. Appreciate you guys listening into the show. I really appreciate it. And thank you for everybody that tunes in again. My Concierge Partnership Program, please reach out to me about that. Big success, very happy. People love it. We're bringing it out to the masses. We're going to get it down to Cabo here pretty soon. Like I said, end of the month, I'm hoping for a lot of good things going to happen around that time frame, going into April as well. We got big months coming up over here. But just cool, relax, it's all good. Focus on the focus, as I say. You have me. Just reach out to me, folks. I'm here for you. It's nice and easy. You got my email, GiannoVegasHomesource.com. You got the website. Check it out. Go look at the property. See what's going on. Check out the newsletter. See what's happening. Talk to Miss G if you have any questions. She's here for you. We got everything covered, and it's all why it's for you. It's built for you, and that's what it's all about. It's being at your service. So on that note, take care. God bless. Everything's going to work itself out. It always does. And I know it because you know why? We're going to do it all again next week. So take care.
Goodbye, my lover. Goodbye, my friend.
You have just listened to Getting Home Sourced with your radio host, Gianno Buonaguro. This podcast is a registered trademark and may not be reproduced without the express written consent of VegasHomeSource.com. For additional information about buying, selling, or investing in real estate, call or text Gianno toll-free at 888-528-2810 or visit his website at VegasHomeSource.com. Thank you for listening, and don't forget to like, share, and subscribe.